Hi, I'm Seamless, and this is the 40K plus 4th tutorial, and this one was requested by a person. By omier44. This is a bass, trying to be a bass from a track by Memtrix called Capsize, and it sounds like this. Sounds kind of like that. Now, this is an example of me brute forcing something that probably was very simple and to do with some regular normal effects. I suspect it has lots to do with regular phasers, except that I'm doing regular phaser stuff is something that's not something I've done a lot of. But so what I mean by brute forcing it is that the result of a phaser, I can actually show it to you, like visibly you can see the result. Like this is actually the section of the sound I'm trying to make, and you can see like all of the holes it creates in the fundamental where someone filtered it really fast. And the really fast filtering, because is what I did essentially. I did filtering really fast. Or you can kind of accomplish that similar idea via phasers. Like you can see here, this business happening, that is a result of a phaser. It actually should look very familiar to you if you're used to using Harmer's phaser, because Harmer's phaser, like what it does is that it mimics what the phaser's result, which is this here, and it does it on purpose. It does it manually. Let's just call it manually. So like, a lot of the sounds in this song sounds like something that are very heavily involved with phasing and phasery business. And I am not such a good, I'm not really a phaser boss. So instead of using phasers, I used filtering via EQ modulation. And then there was also trying to get the tone of the actual original song, or sound rather, before it had these effects to it, which is kind of, it's all that much harder when you're starting from a very affected sound. So let's talk about what I did here to get this. Let's turn all the effects off. That's what the sound sounds like ahead of time. I use Citrus, and I have operator 1 sine wave. Operator 2 is almost a saw wave, or is it just a triangle wave originally, and then I had a whole bunch of the original harmonics, the lower harmonics, and I messed with the phase a little bit just to keep it, interesting. And I'm not modulating the FM, it's just static at this position. And then I also have it up to pitch ratio 4, which is an octave higher than what it would be normally. And then oscillator 3 is just a sine wave with the pitch just a little bit off, so we get that reaching effect, which you can hear when I have distortion engaged. There it is. I also engaged a little bit of noise on oscillator 3, just to give that texture that we can kind of hear in the original. Although, I guess I was saying this in the stream, that the texture is mostly the result of hi-hats and like the rest of the background of the song. Sometimes I tend to forget, but also I've also been experimenting with including noise in some sounds, just because I haven't ever, and it's kind of cool. And you can do that, it's interesting. The oscillators at the very last fader has a noise fader essentially, where it just adds in white noise. So it's being a sub sine plus also white noise. First step, distortion. Sounds like that. Second step, EQ modulation. Now this is the first 3 automation clips I have up here. This is 2 band stops and a band pass. This is kind of get that sort of neuro tone. And what really struck me about this song is, there it is again. I'm remembering a sound that I've heard from somewhere, but I don't remember what. But anyway, it's just a standard. I just try to get the sort of neuro tone. But I was struck by how high pitched the song is. The root note is A sharp, like high A sharp. That's freaky. But so just doing that, and then compressing the result, and then EQing it again, but using just a single notch filter, which is this last automation clip. Actually, it's the second to last automation clip. I also am starting it again, and then chorus to give it that kind of chorusy tone, really. So also that, and phaser, which I automated. I turned the sweep frequency off, which means that it itself is not moving, but I'm automating the minimum depth, which changes where everything is. That's what's up with this last envelope. And then I turn it down because it's actually pretty peaky. Although I have the limiter on, so it doesn't matter. And that's what I got. So like I said at the beginning, this is probably the actual sound that people want to have is probably the result of something a little bit simpler in terms of the use of phasers. And hopefully my analysis of what the phaser-ish type sound is accomplishing in the original via looking at the actual spectrograph of it all can help you to figure out how to do a better job if you are particularly good at phasers, but wasn't totally sure about its application for something like this. This is the plus fourth, which means that I am doing 6 more 40Ks. I've actually done 40 already. This, in fact, will be the 44th. I'm doing 50 to celebrate the 10K Facebook likes that I got when I got the 40K YouTube subscribers. I'm actually more than halfway there to 50K. So, good job me being slow. But, yeah, good job you guys being fast as hell. Damn. If you'd like to make a request, the link to the Reddit thread is in the description of this video. If you have any questions about any of this, let me know. The file for this project is also in the description of this video. And as usual, have a nice day.